Welcome to the Chain Out Podcast with your hosts, Jeremy and Daryl.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chain Out Podcast bonus episode edition. Bonus.
Yeah, bonus.
And you can see we're already starting the episode with a guest, the president of the Edmonton Disc Golf Association, Tim Plamondon.
Welcome, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm so good. How are you guys doing?
Oh,
Great.
I'm loving this weather.
Oh, it's so good. I know I've been playing so much lately. And I just want to say right off the hop, I completely bullied you guys into doing this bonus episode. And I just appreciate you guys so much for being like, absolutely, no problem. Come on anytime. Like I literally bullied my way on. So thank you guys for going with it.
Well, of course, Tim. And you know what? We said you're right from the start. You've been a supporter of the podcast. Everything we put up, you're one of the first ones to like it, one of the first ones to share it. It's on EDGA. It's on your own personal posts, and we appreciate that, and we're always going to support you for sure.
No, I appreciate that. It's mutual, so it's great.
And you know what? Maybe we should take some ownership of this as well, because we're always trying to think about our episodes, and we should have been more on top of the topic that we want to talk about tonight, and been like, you know what? Let's schedule him on because it's going to be a topic that we want to talk about. So. Yeah.
That's why I'm here bullying my way into your podcast and to keep you guys in check. No, thank you guys very much.
Yeah, so let's not keep it in suspense. What are we going to talk about tonight?
Oh, it's league season. Oh, at the end of September, I feel so just like a sense of loss because the season winds down, and I just think about the cruel, cold winter that's ahead of us. And like in my head, I'm like, the last league night of September, I'm like, okay, only like 6 more months until league starts again, or 4. I'm already thinking, well,
how many more sleeps? Not Christmas. It's league. When does league start?
So as of the day of recording this, Rundle League starts in 7 days, and it's the first starting league. We always start Rundle League a little bit earlier, and it usually runs the latest. So Rundle League is a week away. And then after that, the Doubles League starts on the 15th, and then we have the Northwest League, and then we have the Women's League. We have a Junior League. We have all our leagues. It is like the week before, and it's like 7 Christmas mornings.
Well, and we're very excited actually about the Rundle League, because this is going to be, Daryl, your first year getting a chance to participate in a league.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for any leagues actually. Well, I signed up for the Gander Flight Anytime League, which was my first introduction. But yeah, being my first season, I thought, I'm not going to go into leagues because I'm not good enough to play in any of those leagues. And so I'm here to tell anybody that's sitting on the fence that maybe doesn't want to sign up for a league, like, it doesn't matter. Get in the league, meet some new players. Maybe you'll meet your new doubles partner, which kind of how we met, Jeremy.
Well, I was just going to say, this podcast might not exist if it wasn't for leagues, right?
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited to sign up for a couple of leagues this year, which I'm sure we'll get to a bit later on. But the Rundle League, I'm excited. And you haven't played it either, have you, Jeremy?
No, I haven't played the Rundle League before. I kind of dipped my toes into more of a recreational one. But I'm thinking, while we're on the Rundle League, did you want to maybe tell us a little bit about it and what people can expect out of it, Tim?
Oh, but I guess Donna wants to tell you a little bit about it.
Hey, Donna.
She's got lots to say about it. Okay, Donna. Sorry, it's chaos in my house. So the Rundle League is the longest running league that EDGA's had. When I joined the club, that's pretty much all that EDGA was for events, was just Rundle League. It did used to have like a year-end tournament. One year I'd like to maybe think about getting back to that, but there was maybe 40 people in that league. We used to make our cards at the table and have a player meeting every single week. And things have adjusted since kind of the COVID times where we had to be socially distanced, and we've kept the window. So we have a tee off window from 4 till 6:30 where people just show up at the first tee. You assemble a card. You can either meet with predetermined buddies, or you can get on a card with people you don't know. It is the most competitive of the leagues, as that $100 of is what you pay for registration, and 80 of it goes toward your payout. And then 10 goes towards Ace Pot, 10 goes to EDGA. So $80, I mean, that's 80% of your registration fee going back into a potential payout is really important. There's also 5 tiers. So no matter what skill level you are, you can actually hit cash in each of those tiers. And it's interesting because a lot of those middle tiers, the tier 2, 3, 4s, they tend to have a lot of people in it. So if you're near the top of tier 2, 3, or 4, you could be making a, you know, 150, 200, $300
Wow.
just by hit, you know, playing to your potential. And it's the most well attended league. Usually we have around 70 players per evening. We had 110 registrants in that league as a whole last year. 14 people hit aces, so aces are pretty frequent. And you got to
Wow.
think, you know, if you have 110 people with $10 ace pot buy-in automatic, that's you know, do the math, $1,100 or whatever it is
Yeah.
Yeah.
for an ace pot, and then they split that. So that was about $90 per person just for hitting an ace.
Wow.
Great.
And I find that as much as it is a competitive league, there's still such a great, healthy camaraderie that comes with it. Like, I think that people they don't really take it too seriously, but they still take it seriously enough that they're playing competitive. And I found when I jumped into that league, it made me a better player within a season, because I was paying attention to what others were doing. I was learning from other players. I really my mindset really shifted of what I was capable of. And I'm a competitive person. Like, I do like to win. I do
Yeah.
like to score well. And you know, when I'm on a card and the vibes are good, and like some people are scoring really well, I do want to track them down, and I do want to better my score. And I am thinking about, you know, what I need to shoot to bring down my average. So yeah, the Rundle League is just, it's kind of got it all for everyone. So
Well, and you know, when you say that, Tim, it kind of makes me think too, is Daryl and I have kind of a score to settle with one Travis Bouchard after that
Yeah.
beating at Tundra Toss. So, you know, we've got a whole
Whole
season of
season to,
league play there,
yeah.
Daryl, where we can try and hunt him down and show him that who's the better berg thrower, right?
There you go. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't.
Ooh,
Well, you kind of touched on it there, where you mentioned the tiers. You know,
yeah,
if you're,
yeah.
how does that work? How do you determine which tier you're in?
Great. So that's an awesome question. Your first 10 rounds, and I believe there's 25 weeks that you play, but your first
Okay.
10 rounds played put you in your tier. So the average of those 10 weeks. So if you are below a 53 at Rundle, so a 52.9 average or lower, you're in tier one. If you're 53 to, I think, 55.9, you're in tier two. It's on the website. I'd have to look it up. I think it's 56
Well,
to
it is
57.
on the website.
I think it is. Yeah, I think that, I don't remember exactly what the buckets are.
Give me
Selfishly, I just remember that if you're a 52.9 or better, you're in tier one.
Give me 1 second, Tim. By the magic of technology.
Oh, hey, there we go.
There you go.
There it is. The magic of technology. And okay, I have to bring up something though regarding your arch nemesis Travis Bouchard. He last year, he shot, if you think about it in pure strokes, actually, if you shoot 530 strokes in 10 rounds, that's an average of 53.
Right.
Right.
He shot 530 strokes in his first 10 rounds. So he missed being in tier 1 by one single stroke. So
Gotcha.
it's you know, you got to play at a pretty good clip to get into that tier, and it averages out over that 10 round. Then, so that'll set your tier. Your first 10
Yeah.
rounds set your tier. Then after that, let's say you play the first 10 weeks and there's 15 weeks remaining, you get 15 opportunities to lower your average by whatever score you get. The lowest ones will knock off your high ones, and then
Right.
your overall average of your 10 best rounds will be where you place in the end.
Okay. So once you've established yourself in that tier, even if you outplay that tier because you're practicing, you're playing a lot, you're
Yep.
improving,
Yep.
you're still in your tier that you established with your 10 rounds.
That's right. I think that format works and doesn't in a little bit of ways. We have considered shifting it up because I think some people, maybe in the first part of the year, they were playing pretty cold, then they kind of got into a lower tier, and then they get better as the year goes on and they start shredding their tier. And some
Yeah.
people are like, oh, that guy's a sandbagger or whatever. That person's a sand. But I find that the sandbagger thing, it's not really that real. Like, I sit there at the first hole for 24 of the 25 Thursdays that we do this and watch every single person tee off and talk to every single person. Like, I don't think we have that too much, but it can create, it creates that. It can turn into a thing where people get a lot better towards the end of the year. That being
Right.
said, I do like to change up some of the tee pads throughout the year. So every week I typically have 2 alternate tee pads, and I'll typically
Mm.
change the baskets throughout the year to get progressively harder as we get to River City Cup. So you kind of it's in your benefit to score well early because the baskets are only going to get harder as you go.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. So show up for those first 10 weeks because those are going to be your easiest 10 weeks out there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And you mentioned about starting cold, but how long are you going to stay cold for? Your first 3 or 4 rounds, you're going to be cold, but by the time you get to the end of those first 10 rounds, you should be pretty much well warmed up, and you're not just practicing on league night anyway, right? So
yeah, totally. And I think that's kind of where I've made my hay to get into league or to tier 1 for the last few years is like when the course is scoreable, get out there and get a good score. If you can score some really low rounds, then that creates a buffer that you can get away with maybe letting a round or 2 go and still be under a certain average. But
Yes.
I will say, no matter what tier someone lands in, it's going to be fun because the tiers are they're not like a finite kind of like, oh, that person's a tier 1, I can't play with them. It doesn't matter what tier you're in; everyone plays with everyone, and it's always like a good competitive atmosphere, but still fun first.
Yes. Well, now that we have the Discord channel too with EDGA, that's going to be a great opportunity to organize cards maybe beforehand and, throw out what your tag number is if you want to play for a specific tag and see if you can make a group that way. So I think there's going to be a lot of good synergies that can happen with the Discord
Yeah,
and meeting some of these people. And as you said, it's like River City Cup is a premier tournament in Alberta and now on the Cold Garden Cup where we know as well. So if you're playing in the Thursday league, you're just totally prepping yourself and you're going to be so familiar with it. You're going to know the Mandos, the OBs, you're going to know everything and you're going to be ready for that tournament as well.
yeah, absolutely. And a little home court advantage for the league players to be leading up to River City Cup. So I'm so grateful that I was introduced to the Rundle League. And now I'm actually a part of the doubles league. This will be my 3rd year going into the doubles league as well, and I sneaky love that doubles league. I carried my first partner in the first year. He's a lower level player named Tristan Piska, and
we've heard of him, I think.
yeah,
I've seen
yeah,
him, yeah.
Yeah.
MA
He's still
12 or
working on
something.
his game. Hey,
yeah, I carried him for the first year, and we did really well. And then it just wasn't working out between him and I, so I kicked him to the curb and brought in my buddy Jason Miller, and
yes.
he's my partner again for this year. And that doubles league, because it plays out of Hermitage and Niskapasquak, it is so much fun. And like, if you like running things or getting a little bit risky, it's so fun because you can kind of have that dialogue of like, okay, I'll lay up if you want to go for it, or hey, I'm kind of feeling it, I'm going to run this if you want to, you kind of get to strategize a little bit more, and that aspect of it is super super fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And anybody who hasn't listened to Tim's episode, Daryl, they should go back and do it because Jason Miller and you going out to play a little bit of soccer golf and ended up playing some disc golf. And so the 2 OGs get to reunite.
I can't get rid of that guy either. He's around me a lot. And I'm going to pause the league talk for one quick thing because you brought up something that I wasn't going to bring up, but I'm going to bring it up. And that is that you mentioned Travis Bouchard and his Berg throwing abilities, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'm breaking this now, even though it's on Disc Golf Scene, but tomorrow will be the official announcement that EDGA and Wildman Disc Golf will be presenting the Alberta Berg Championships.
Woo-hoo!
So we are going to, it's going to be a quick turnaround. We had to do it pretty quick. It's going to be April 28th. So the day after the tag team doubles. It's going to be at Wildman, and it is going to be, you just throw bergs. That is it.
Bergs at Wildman?
That's all you need, Jeremy. That's all you need.
Yeah. I can't imagine any other disc you'd want to throw at Wildman.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I might have to work on it. I've got 2 right now. Daryl, how many bergs? I think you had 7 or 8?
Yeah, somewhere around there. 7 or 8.
And
I've got my eye on, after playing with after playing Tundra Toss with Travis, obviously he's a berg thrower as well. He mentioned that one of his favorite discs was one of his favorite bergs was the Glowberg, and that's one that I don't have. So
right.
I'm looking to get one of them. I noticed that BR recently had a new restock. So I'm working on trying to, it was seeing this is where I get in trouble with Jeremy and Mark is because I like buying discs. But
And
I,
You
I
do.
kind of went on a freeze and I kind of said, oh, you know what? I need to learn my bag and just
right.
stick with the disc, stop rotating the disc. So I've been on a bit of a buying freeze, but I can't just buy one from BR. I need to buy a couple to make it worth a while. So
Obviously,
yeah,
I
Yeah.
but
I
a
really
Globerg is on my radar.
I really hope that you show up to that event with a bag of Bergs, not just one or two, but a
Yeah.
whole backpack of just Bergs. Like I only own one and I don't throw it, so and I'm gonna play and it's gonna be bad, but that's fine. I hope there are people like yourself and Travis who show up with a full backpack of Bergs ready to go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's we're gonna have the announcement tomorrow for that. The winner it'll be one division. It'll be a 2 round. It's unsanctioned at Wildman. It'll be a $30 registration. 10 goes to Wildman to support the fundraising society there, and $10 to EDGA. Everyone will get a free disc dog hot dog. He'll be there, and
Nice.
it'll just be the winner will be crowned the Berg champion of Alberta.
That'll be fantastic. Now, I do have a question though.
Mhm.
How punishing, like Wildman can be punishing as it is. Now we're limited it to a Berg. Are we throwing from the blues? Are we throwing from the whites? Has that been decided?
I believe I was talking to Wildman Matt yesterday, and I believe we're throwing from the reds or whatever the friendliest tee
Oh,
pads are.
that'll be
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can't make
We
it
want to
too
hurt
hard.
you. We want
Yeah.
to hurt you, but we don't want to hurt you that bad.
We want you to finish the 18.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, that'll
Maybe
be
it'd be a
announced.
good idea to go out there the day after the tournament because you'll find Bergs in the woods.
Yep.
Oh,
That's, as someone who only owns one Berg, I was kind of like, what if I lose it? Do I just leave? Like,
yeah.
so yeah, we're going to announce that. So that's that'll be something tomorrow. I just had to pause because there was talk of Berg, and that was a perfect segue into the
Yeah.
Berg
Yes.
championship. Yeah. So
Well, thanks for sharing
Well,
that on the show.
yeah, of
yeah.
course.
Well, I just wanted to touch on something that Jeremy and you kind of mentioned it there about playing in Wildman has got such it's such a hard course to play. Jeremy mentioned it earlier about going playing Rundle. You're going to be getting more familiar with the course leading up to River City, and he mentioned Mandos and OB. Now, for people that have been out playing the winter layout at Rundle, obviously winter rules, there's no OB. When does that come back into effect?
That is such a good question. I actually have a meeting with EPCOR regarding the fencing around holes 1 and 3
Yeah.
on the 10th of April, and Rundle League starts on the 11th of April. I'm hoping that in that meeting I can agree with them to they're going to want to keep the fencing up for a little while. But I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they're going to agree that we can play those 2 holes and call those areas out of bounds, and then we can restore the original layout, and then therefore restore kind of the original OBs and Mandos at Rundle,
Right.
which will be in effect for the league and for River City Cup for that matter. River City Cup
Yeah.
will probably have a couple extra things. So there's kind of I've been working up the emails like crazy, trying to get like a little bit of clarity on the fencing, on the parking lot, on the layout,
Yeah.
just kind of all the background stuff to make this all happen. So,
Well, is it fair enough to say, Tim, that if you've been playing all winter like me and throwing over the lake on hole 12, old hole 12, for example, and landing in the nice gravel that is where the lake normally is, that will be OB starting on Thursday league. The paths will be OB. The Mando on the long hole is in play. Everything comes right back into play once league starts.
mostly yes. The water won't be in play until the water's there. Like the lakes
Oh,
are actually
okay.
they're not out of bounds until there's actually water in the ponds, which usually happens in May.
okay.
And it's funny, every year they psych you out. They fill them and then they empty them and then they fill them. So there's a little psych out that happens, but those will be completely inbounds because there's no hazard there. They'll be inbounds until there's water. Then the only Mando is actually going to be on hole 1 and hole 15 if 13's basket is in the left position. So on hole 7 and 18, no Mandos. And then, yes, paths and roads will be out of bounds.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So sorry, if we can take you right back to the Monday doubles. So the doubles league is Monday nights.
Mhm.
And if the Rundle League is starting next Thursday, the 11th, is it the following Monday that doubles is starting?
That's right. Yeah. Doubles is on the 15th of April. So
Okay.
it happens pretty quickly. And to anyone who needs their bag tags, I'll be at Rundle League on the 11th. I'll be at Doubles League on the 15th, and I'll be at the other league startups as well. So I'll be at the Northwest League, which I think is the day after. Magic of Internet. I'm just going to pull it up really quickly.
Okay.
Northwest League is April 23rd, it looks like. Yep, April 23rd. I'll be there just for that startup. And then the women's rec. And women's league is just one league this year. We received some feedback from the women that it was separated into competitive and rec last year. And while that was good, it served its purpose. We've had some feedback that actually the women, no matter if they're playing competitive or rec, they just wanted to play together. So we compiled that into just one league, and that league starts on the 24th, so the day after the Northwest League starts. So it's 11th Rundle League, 15th Doubles League, 23rd Northwest League, and 24th Women's League.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So while we're talking about all the leagues, we have to address the one. It looks like there's one bit of sad news. I think we might have mentioned it earlier, but for people that don't know, the Hills is losing a couple of holes. Not necessarily saying the whole course is going away, but they're losing a couple of holes.
Yep.
And I noticed you're kind of avoiding mentioning the Hills Anytime League that was a thing last year, and I believe that I signed up for this year. Yep. Any news on what's happening with the Hills?
I don't have any news for you yet. That's nothing permanent. It's kind of a gray area because the course is actually owned and operated by the developer of the area, not even the city, not us, but the developer. We don't really have a say as to what's going on. And I've made a lot of site visits to talk to the homeowners as just an advisory, just to try and be a mediator to advocate for the course. I've sent a lot of emails. I've made a lot of suggestions as to where I think basket placements could go to mitigate the issues, but it's a tough one. And at the end of the day, the developers decided it's not worth the headache to them, that they're just going to remove the 2 holes. So right now we're trying to figure out if there's like an alternate kind of path that we can take to maintain 18 holes play. Like, do we just do 6 holes 3 times? That equals 18.
Yeah.
But we don't have any concrete news as of this time.
Right.
I really like the anytime kind of aspect of that league. As much as like you probably don't cross over with too many people, it still allows you to like go whenever you can, go play around in that competitive mindset, and have an opportunity to play and win some money or just be competitive. And I really like that course. Sometimes it gets a little bit of a hard time for being a shorter course, but I actually really like that course. Like it's always windy there, so it's always a nice little challenge. The shots are fun. I really like that course. So unfortunately, I don't have any news on the league itself, but we're working to find a solution there.
So anybody who has registered like Daryl, just hang in there. There will be more announcements of it. Don't worry. As soon as you know something, we'll know something.
Yeah, that's right. We'll communicate it as quickly as we can. If for some reason the league can't go ahead, obviously we'll issue full 100% refunds. But I'm hoping that we can find a way to just play like a smart 6 holes and just play it 3 times.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah,
and I think
make the best out of a bad situation, I guess.
Yeah. And I think if we can, let's maybe just hit Monday again and maybe go through the days a little bit more. But my one other question for you with Monday doubles is what happens if, Daryl just is done with me and he doesn't want to play with me and he doesn't want to be my partner? If someone is in a situation like that, are there other singles out there looking for partners, and is there a way to connect them together?
Yeah, so we do usually a week or two right around this time, usually put up a little post or an email that just says, like, if you're interested in playing doubles but don't have a partner, let us know and we'll match make you. And sometimes we have in the past let a person kind of start by themselves and then find a partner, and they just kind of play like a Cali method. We try not to do that too much because we do want the doubles aspect to be pretty pure. And if you have like your partner can't be there, like my great partner Jason Miller won't be there for the very first week, you can bring in a substitute for I think it's a substitute can be present for 3 of the weeks, 3 of the counted score weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, there's an allowance to have a substitute. So If I'm going to lose Jason Miller, I'm going to bring in a ringer like, I don't know, a Travis Bouchard.
There you go.
I'm
I
getting the
thought that was
eyeball
gonna
from
happen.
someone in my household right now for saying that.
There's another
Yeah.
ringer, in your
Yeah.
household for sure.
Yeah.
So,
speaking
okay,
of-
so Thursday night, we talked Thursday, that's Rundle League, that's a money league. Monday doubles, also a money league.
Also a money league. It is a lower fee because it's not kind of like that upper echelon competitive. We have the fee for that one at 65 per person. And it's still a money league. That's the only. I got an ace last year in Rundle, so I did make a little money there, but I did not cash in the tier. And at doubles league, I did make a little cash last year, so it was actually pretty good. It worked out for me. So yeah, that is a cash league. The same type of format as Rundle, where your first few weeks tier you, and then you can lop off bad scores with better scores throughout the year, and then your average. It says right there. Look at that, the magic of the internet.
There you go.
And here's
So
the great
beers
thing.
for birdies. What's the beers for birdies?
That's right. So we have a wonderful sponsor in Sea Change Brewing. Each week, there you go. Zoom enhance.
Hey.
There'll be
You
25
mentioned
gift
beer,
card up
sorry.
there. Yeah. Daryl got hyper focused. We lost him for a minute. There's going to be a gift card up for grabs. A specific hole will be identified each week, and if your team scores a birdie on that hole, you'll be entered to win a draw. Knowing Brock, he likes to make things very difficult for people, so he'll make the hardest holes the ones that you can birdie and possibly win that $25 gift card. But a great sponsor with Sea Change. Obviously, you get 15% off with your EDGA bag tag in the tap room, and they're stepping up to sponsor that league.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to move on to Tuesday night league?
So Tuesday night league. Tuesday night's a funny little league. I haven't played in it, but I've been there a lot because I'm right by Nor'Wester, and it typically plays. I mean, we call it Northwest for a reason. We typically play in the St. Albert courses, Northwest, and I think it even went to Niskapesquak.
Yes, it
couple
did.
times. A couple times last year. This is what we call our recreational leagues. This is a more casual league. We've costed it out at $40, and it's more prize based rather than having money or a payout format. And it's got some really great vibes. I think it's for someone who wants to play regularly and know where they score and see how they stack up against other people, but without the pressure of being like, oh my god, I have to make this putt, or putting money on the line. So I think it's got a really good mix of like, you're still playing regularly, you're playing with a group of people who are kind of in a similar boat to you. There's no tiers or anything like that. It's just get together, play some disc golf at a really affordable price.
Yes, and I've got some good experience with it. We used to call it the Nor'Wester League because that's where it was focused, but it's the Northwest League, especially as of last year. And you're right. So a lot of times we'll get together at the start of that league, or we did last year, and we might get together in alphabetical order, or we might get together in tag order, or we might get together in all these different ways just so that we can mix and match players. The most competitive that it gets is that if we play for tags, and that's even optional depending on the group that you're with. And the other nice thing with those prizes, the way it has been done in the past, was if you play on a specific night, then you are in a draw for a disc on that night. So the nice thing about that was there was a couple rainy evenings, and one night I went out and there was only 4 of us who showed up, so I had a 25% chance of winning a disc, and lucky me, I won a disc that night. So
Nice.
It is nice. It rewards you for getting out there and doing it, right. And a shout out to Nick Legault, our very own Nick Legault, for being the league director for that league for the last couple of years. He does such a great job. He's such a wonderful community ambassador. He's done such amazing work with St. Albert, and even this year, I believe he'll be back as the league director for that league. Nick's the best.
yeah, Nick is. And the one thing I would tell everybody is if you play the Northwest League, when the weeks start to show up at Langholm course, which is the little 9-hole in St. Albert, Nick has created a back 9 and we'll put those tee pads in place. So it's almost a secret back 9 because you won't find it on UDisc. You won't find it anywhere else. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to announce that on some sort of media platform.
No. So if you find somebody who might know that, and actually we had one of our listeners, Josh Kern, ask about it. So I'm going to maybe make a secret map and put it into code and everything else
Yeah,
and send it off his way.
very on the down low. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Set it up in a geocache somewhere across Europe.
So
But it
then
makes them
after,
work to find it.
yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so I mean that covers off the Northwest League. I think that league's a lot of fun, and it blew up last year. We had, I think, 44 registrants for that league. We had a lot of people registered, and I think already this year we've got quite a bit. I can look it up if you fill the time for a quick second.
Oh, well, the other thing I would tell you then to fill that time was at the end of the year, Nick Legault and then Mike Carey, they put together like a wrap up day. And we went out and we played around at Langholm. And then Nick lives close by and he had a barbecue for us in his backyard. We did a putting competition. We did an accuracy competition. And then we also did a speed throw where Mike Carey brought his speed gun and we all got a chance to see how fast our arms really were and realized that none of us need 13 speeds in our bag.
So what I'm hearing is sign up for the Northwest League, and Nick Legault will personally cook you a steak. What I'm hearing.
You heard it here first.
So we have
Been
23
volunteered.
people in that league as it stands today, and usually we see a whole swath of signups the week of and a little bit afterwards as people casually go to the course and they go to play and they realize there's a league there. So 23 to start right now is excellent. That's a really good number. And right now Rundle has 72 people in it, which
Wow.
is pretty impressive. We'll make up the last 40 people here soon. And then doubles league, I only see 18 people, but I see that there are some people where their teammate hasn't signed up. And I see that I can see on my spreadsheet, this is really lovely, that under Jason Miller's registration, when you list your partner who's here on your registration, he literally put, who's your name of your doubles partner? Unfortunately, Tim Plamondon.
Awesome.
Could be a lot of bickering on this team, I think.
Oh, there, and you know what? The nights that we bicker the most are when we score the best. So, and then our lovely women's league has 20 women already. So, those great numbers to start the season. We have 225 club members registered right now. So our drive to 500 is very healthy right now.
Yeah, almost halfway there, and we haven't even really started league season yet. So
yeah, league starts in 7 days for just Rundle, and we're doing really well. So yeah, things are good.
So with the Wednesday Women's League, now do they play at a specific course? Are they traveling around? How does their league work?
Yeah, so they rove as well. They rove pretty far and wide too. So they played a bit at Niska, they played a bit at Rundle, they played a bit at Hermitage. They kind of rove. Ali had a really great plan for it last year, and it's again $40 because it's a rec league, and it's it kind of goes all over the place, and it's all about just giving women their own space and let the men in their lives deal with everything else, and they get to go out and play some disc golf and have their own time. There's prizes just like the Northwest League. It's super affordable, and they do go to Langholm as well a little bit. So
Okay.
it's such a fun. I get to be there once in a while to either like on a very hot night, I'll show up and hand out freezies, or I'll be there on the starting night. And it is such a fun time. Like you just feel how much fun the ladies are having and you can just see they're all learning from each other. There's so much great conversation. There's some amazing disc golf being played. The women's league is it's so wonderful.
Fantastic.
And again, we talked about Rundle League being a nice warm up for River City Cup. Ladies, if you want to get out there and do the women's league, that'd be a nice, with She's Up First coming up soon as well.
Yeah, She's Up First is right around the corner, so it's a really good opportunity to hone those skills for that tournament. As well, we've had multiple women and multiple men from the rec leagues go to the doubles league, go to the Thursday Rundle League. So it's almost like as much as those leagues function for themselves and have their own things, sometimes people, I don't want to say graduate to those competitive leagues, but they'll take it on as the next step in their competitive game.
Right. Well, one other thing I wanted to talk about leagues with you, Tim, while we're on it is a long time. 25 weeks or 24, 25 weeks for the Rundle League. That's half a year pretty much. Some people maybe are new to disc golf. Maybe you meet somebody, maybe you introduce someone. Just because leagues have started, it doesn't mean that you can't join one, say midsummer or even towards the late summer. Is that
That's right.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, as people casually kind of show up to these courses and see that there's a league going on, a lot of them will sign up on the spot. And some people who are very prominent in the community now, including Matt Dwyer. Matt Dwyer showed up, I think, with 9 weeks left in Rundle League and signed up on the spot. You need 10 minimum to cash, and he showed up on week 9. I told him, "You're going to miss the pay cut," and he went, "Doesn't matter, I'm still in." Um,
Awesome.
and so yeah, you can sign up at any point. We're not gonna turn you away. No matter what, you're gonna get something out of it. It may not be a payout or a prize, but you're gonna meet people. You're gonna find some camaraderie. You're gonna find competitive or casual disc golf. That it's There's no bad time to register.
Yeah. So that's a thing I would say, and I actually introduced some people last year that way as well, was to say, come out for a night, just give it a try and see what you think. And then if you want to be part of it regularly, then get your membership and join the league. But there's nothing to say you can't, it's so welcoming, the community, and no matter what league it is that, don't try and get a free ride and come out every night for free. But if you want to come out and try before you buy, I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, and usually the league directors will let you do that. If you show up and you just want to try it and see what the vibe is, and if it's kind of your wavelength, we're going to be very flexible about that. We obviously we just want to grow the club and grow the sport, and it's not going to help us if we're like, no, pay, you have to play. Like
Yeah.
we want to be very just easy
Welcoming.
go, and yeah, exactly, that's right. So yeah.
Well, and I found 2 years ago was the first league I joined, and that was Norwester. And I played that, but I hadn't played a single tournament yet. But I kind of had a feeling that after I played the league, I got an idea of kind of a light level of competition and what that felt like. And it almost felt like a building block or so that when Tundra Toss came around that next year, that was a perfect tournament for me to step into. Do you find that's a thing for players when they try out leagues?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially so with the competitive leagues, but I think no matter what, it is a building block. I think building block's the right way to say it because it just provides structure, and that's really what tournaments provide a lot of is like structure. Like there's an order of play. There's kind of there's an etiquette to it. There's things are just under a microscope a little bit, and so it is the league play is a building block, and it gives you an opportunity to play with a different mindset than casually.
Mm.
And I think like a lot of people still approach their leagues with a fairly casual mindset, whether it's music playing or like having a good joke. But I do think it is it is a little bit different than just playing Saturday morning with your
Hmm.
friends. Like there is one more level of competitiveness. Just even if it's a small little jump, it is a building block, like you say, and that does lead kind of to the next building block, which is like tournaments. And I think it's a really important step. Like I don't think someone you can definitely go casual to tournament. There's nothing going to stop anyone from doing that. But I do think that taking that step between those things can help build a player's game, especially because you're exposed to so many different players and different skill sets. Um, something I was really bad with, and I still have in my game a little bit. Something I was really bad with was like coming from a hockey background. I was very emotional about my game. The highs were high, the lows were low, and I played with someone a while ago that had an emotional down, kicked their bag and swearing, and it was a really tough look. It was really tough, and I saw that and I reflected on it. And I thought that's what I look like,
Mm.
Yeah.
and I don't want to look like that. And I still struggle with it a little bit, but that was a big learning. That was a big building block for me, and especially like about um, the mindset, just just the mindset you need to have in a tournament. And some people have different mindsets. Some people are a little bit more relaxed, and some people still play it casually. But for me, that was my big lesson. That was my big learning lesson, was like regulating my emotions so that I can just play disc golf. Just try to take the best shot. You made a bad shot. So what? You've made it. Move on. Your next shot is the most important one. And like that's a specific learning lesson for me. But I think a learning lesson for anyone could be maybe a forehand, or maybe how to look at a line, or maybe how to grip the disc, or maybe how to stand, or maybe some rules that they didn't know about. So I think anyone can pick up something from like a league play and translate that into a tournament play, and then work on that mind game as well.
Yeah. And I agree with you when you say about the league play. is when I had first got into disc golf, I had read the rules and kind of basically looked at them, and I knew I needed a mini to mark my disc, for example, but I thought I had to have my feet just behind the mini. So I would center the mini between my legs and straddle putt, and then someone kindly taps you on the shoulder and says, your foot's supposed to be on this square piece of paper, and you start to learn those rules. And I think, in the competitive leagues, even in a competitive league, week one, somebody's going to help you and educate you on some of these things that maybe you don't know. By week 7, hopefully you've got it figured out. But if you were to just go into a competitive tournament and you tried to pull that stuff, somebody's going to still be kind to you, but they might be calling courtesy violations, and you don't even know what a courtesy violation is yet. So it's a great way to get you prepared for the tournament play, I believe.
Yeah, especially the rec leagues, like you might get a little bit of an education piece from someone. No one's going to be too up in arms. It's a casual league. And in the competitive leagues, I still think that there's room for error and there's room for growth and there's room for education. Like there's room to have those very polite discussions about, oh, actually, when you do this, that's actually not in the rules. You should do it like that, and do it in a very respectful way so that it does prepare you for the next step.
Yeah.
And the other good thing about playing in leagues and playing with different people is, like you mentioned about using a mini and stance and things like that, the basics that you learn pretty quickly with playing with a couple of people. But when you get into a league format and you're playing with more people, there's more shots, more throws that you can see, more chances that, a certain stroke or a certain roll is being broken that maybe you didn't know. And that's going to be a new learning. You've got a chance to level up your game by learning a new rule that you never knew was a case because you'd never played it with your buddy.
Exactly. And that's just the subtle difference between the two. You can still have fun and you can still have those casual rounds where the rules may be a little bit loose and you're just relaxed and it's all good. There's nothing wrong with that kind of disc golf. But I think the league play is a really good step into preparing one for disc golf tournaments. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I love tournaments. I mean, I love right up until the moment I missed my 10-foot putt, then I'm kind of then I'm regulating my emotions. But they're just so infectious. The atmosphere and the competitive. Again, if you like competition, if you just like competition, it's such a great outlet.
Yeah. And as you said, the casual rounds, they're always great. But the first time you go from playing a whole bunch of casual rounds and then you go, oh, wait, I can't just throw a second one off the tee because I didn't like that one. Your game will automatically improve when your first shot is always the one that's going to count.
You don't want to go to a tournament and be like, you know what, I'm going to take player B on this one.
How many mulligans do I get in this tournament? You'll find that out real quick. Not many.
Shouldn't be a lot. No, exactly.
No, that's fantastic. And I love that. I love that kind of professional mindset. Both Daryl and I were set up to go out to spring runoff. That's going to be Daryl's first B tier. For me, that's going to be a big one. I know you've been down there. And those are those ones that do level up your game. And we played Battle 6 last year, which was a C tier and a very well organized one. But we know with Rebecca Johnson involved and Noah Higgins involved, and I can't remember the other TD, but with the 3 of them involved on it, it's going to be a great event.
I would recommend, if for spring runoff, getting a stack of Firebirds.
I've heard it's a little bit windy.
It's a little bit windy. Stable up. Get something stable because it's important. It's going to be very important to have control in your game.
Now, saying that, looking there beside you, that's a stack of Firebirds that's all the same color, and those don't look like ones that have been in your bag. What's going on with all of those?
This is my 2020 Sexton Firebird. This is my 23 April Fool's Sexton Firebird. This is my 2017 Firebird. Another 2017 Firebird. This is a 2020 Firebird. This is a 21 Firebird. This is a 2018 Firebird. This is a 2019 Firebird. This is a 2020 Firebird. This is a 2021 Firebird. This is a 2022 Firebird. And this is a 2019 Firebird. They've all, except for 2 of them, have been in my bag to some degree.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. So is that your regular collection, or is that kind of maybe a wheeling and dealing that you recently did with the Alex Penny, Kyle Warren Firebird transition, or no?
Did you guys see that haul? I bought this one off of Alex, I believe, a little while ago. and 2017, beautiful disc. It's so great. And then I saw him put up that lot, and I had to turn the computer off. I had to shut my phone off. I had to
take a minute.
I had to step away. That was an impressive collection. And Kyle, I mean, I messaged him as soon as I saw he binned it. I messaged him and I was like, "Split it with you or what?" And yeah, what a haul! That's just an incredible collection.
Yes. You know, Daryl, I think the question that's burning on everybody's minds is when Tim steps up on hole 1 for your first league night, which Firebird is coming out? Which one? What is going to start your season off? And you'll know that either my season's going to be great and that Firebird will always be in my bag, or that season's going to be bad and I'm going to have to put the Firebird back on the wall behind me.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, it depends.
It's not going to be one.
Yeah, it's not going to be hole 1. And traditionally, I actually throw a turnover on original hole 1. Actually, I like the way the turnover shapes.
Oh,
I actually don't usually go Firebird there. So let's just say hole 1. Let's just say I aced it probably.
Yeah,
we're on hole 2 probably. So we're on hole 2.
Yes,
I'll either throw a Buzz or a Firebird. And this year I will be throwing this one. This is my old original 2017 Firebird. Because I bought the wall hanger version, I felt like I could afford to put this one back in my bag. So I'll throw this on hole 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, and a few upshots in between.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you have like for me personally, I just dislike a green disc, but yet your whole stack is it. I mean, they look green to me. They're like kind of a minty green.
Yeah, they're like more. Yeah, they're like minty, basically.
Yeah, that's amazing that you've got every disc, but in that same color.
Well, and you know what? I actually purple's my favorite color. So just in general, so a lot of my discs, my bag's basically all pink and purple, with the exception of the Firebird, which is really nice actually because when I'm shuffling around for discs, I can kind of just grab it and pull it out real quick. I know what I'm grabbing. It's a Firebird.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, was there anything else that you wanted to cover here before we kind of wrap things up?
No. I think I think we did a beautiful job. Again, thank you guys so much for having me on to talk about the leagues. I just love league play so much. I just want to share it with everyone. I love tournaments so much. I want to share those with everyone. And I think if you're even just thinking about it, if it's in the back of your head about playing in a league or a tournament, just do it. Just get in there and try it before you buy it. Talk to the league directors, talk to your tournament directors, talk to your buddies who are playing. It's such a great experience. I can't say enough about it. I just love it so much.
Yeah,
nice.
And I'll just put it out there because you mentioned it as well, Jeremy. If there is anybody out there that's sitting on the fence that maybe thinks that it's their first tournament, they're not sure if they're going to be overwhelmed with it or anything like that, drop Chain out a message, chainoutpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know you want to play, and I'm sure at least a couple times I'm going to have to team up with Jeremy when we go out there. I mean, part of the thing is to get out there and meet new people, but if you're not sure about it, give us a message, join us on our card, and we'll make you feel welcome.
Yeah. Now, Tim, you've watched the show enough, and I know this is a mini bonus episode, but I think you could help us out with this next part. So if you were sitting there on hole 2 on league night, of course, because you would have thrown some other turnover thing on hole 1, but you're lining up on hole 2 and you pull out the 2017 Firebird we talked about.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to line up, right? You're going to line up on the tee pad. How are you going to throw that thing? You're going to get a little hyzer on it. What's it going to look like?
Hole 2, it depends what I'm trying to do. Because I'm a hyper aggressive player and because I love aces, I will probably just try to pull it right hard and try and swing it in on hyzer.
So it's going to go flying high up on the right hand side.
Yeah, it's going to go right over the works yard.
Oh, right? Yeah, kind of going. No, you're talking about the other one. So it's going to go up.
Oh,
and then it's going to be coming towards that basket. It's going to be in the forward position because it's the first week.
Of course.
And it's going to be coming down, and it's going to be probably on a nice, sharp 45-degree angle, I'm expecting.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's going to just hit that basket, probably even hit pole, but just nicely, just nestle into that pole. There's one thing that disc isn't going to do.
It's not
It
going
could
to chain
never
out.
do it, could it?
It could
It's not going
never.
to chain out.
No, it's not
No,
going to.
It's not gonna.
No. No. Especially
Chain
Chain
out. Look at that. We got you in on the chain
Yeah.
out.
You got me.
Okay,
Hey,
awesome.
Perfect.
And I will say really quickly, as the quickest anecdote ever, I had the worst chain out ever at Hermitage with Jeremy there a few weeks ago.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you a real quick recall on that one. We were on hole 11, and Tim says, "I'm gonna hit the basket with this one," and then one of the guys had said, "No, you're gonna put it in the chains, aren't you?" And then sure enough, he throws it, comes up, and it was exactly as we just described, wasn't it?
It was literally as we just described, and it did the thing.
Yeah, it did the
The-
thing, and it
The
hit
bad
the
thing.
the chains. I think it hit the post and it bounced out. It was crazy, but you called it even, which was amazing. So I got to witness a chain out in person.
Wow. And it was a Firebird?
It was this Firebird.
It was that
It was-
Firebird.
It was this
That
one right
exact
here.
same disc.
Yeah.
But it won't do it at Rundle on hole 2. All right.
No.
There
You
you
know what it's going to do at a hole 2 on Rundle for sure.
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks for
yeah.
coming on, Tim.
Guys, thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you out there on the course.
You bet.
Awesome.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was a nice little bonus episode, Jeremy.
It was, Daryl. That was great. Nice of Tim. He said he bullied us to be on. He didn't bully us. He asked
knows
us
he's always
nicely if
welcome.
we could. Yeah, we've said it before. He's always welcome. When you got the president of your local club asking you to be on the show, you're going to always make time for him.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
not bullied
And
at all.
we know Tim's not going to come on and just, fill us with fluff. If he's coming on, he's got a reason to come on. We're bringing him on because he's got something to talk about.
Yeah, there's no fluff. There's no faff. There's
No
none
faff.
of that stuff. He's not faffing around when he comes on this show. So thanks everybody for joining us. We hope you liked the little bonus episode here. And more big things coming from Chain Out. We'll have another episode before you know it.
Stay tuned.
And we'll see you out on the course for Thursday Rundle League. And if not for
Yeah.
that, we'll see you casually on the
And
weekends.
you know what, Jeremy?
Hmm.
If people, I didn't even think of this, but I just thought of it right now. If anybody that's going to Rundle League and they listen to the podcast, but maybe they didn't get a chance to go to Welcome Day or they didn't get a chance to participate in Tundra Toss, if you like the podcast and you don't have a exclusive Chain Out sticker, come and find Jeremy and I, and we will have them with us. If you want a Chain Out sticker, if you see us out on the course, hit us up. A sticker is yours.
Yes, that's right. While they last, we only have a few number left, and it's our first run.
Yeah.
The first time we've done a sticker, so you could say, "Yeah, I know I'm." You know how you know I'm an OG Chain Out listener. It's because I've got one of their purple Chain Out stickers.
Purple/blue. Blurple.
Yes, that's right. You could. It's almost like Yanni and Laura, or what was that one?
I don't know.
Anyways,
It's almost like it's like a misprint stamp.
yes,
It's the wrong color, but in the future it'll be worth a fortune.
Yeah, a fortune cookie maybe, but
Maybe. Okay.
Thanks for
everyone
joining
for
us,
listening.
guys. We'll catch you next time.